up, y'all? It's me, Erica, and we are down here. Peace, y'all. Take care of each other. Protect your energy. What's up, everybody? It's me, Erica, and this is your Insecure Episode 3, Pressure Okay review. We start off with Lawrence at work. Okay, before I say that, I thought the episode was actually pretty good. I thought it was pretty good. I thought that, it was a good way to tie up what Lawrence has. I feel like that was like a tie up of what Lawrence has going on. Probably won't see any more of him. We don't know. I don't know. How many episodes? 8? We're on episode 3. So this episode was all about Lawrence and Condola. So it's just about them being new parents and how they are navigating that when Lawrence finds out that the baby actually comes early. So they show him at work, then they show him on a date having this like awkward conversation. She's asking him, where is he from? And they're just fumbling over the conversation. The conversation seems like not awkward, but it's just not flowing. And then he makes a joke about the trolleys in San Francisco. And she was like, you're lucky you're cute because that was stupid. And he was like, I'd rather be cute and stupid. I was like, that's dumb, Lawrence. So then he gets he gets a text message from Contradiction, and she says she has the baby. She has the baby, and the girl was like, can you imagine? He was like, I think I just had my baby. She was like, can you imagine? And she was like, I gotta go. And he got up, he paid his bill. That was so funny because I was waiting, like literally, I was like, is he gonna pay the bill? I hope he pays the bill. Like I literally thought that. So we're glad Lawrence paid the bill. So he gets to the hospital and he runs up, he tells the, I don't know if it was security, it was somebody. He was like, I'm the father. And the way he says it, right? You already know what the vibe is. I was like, oh God, Lawrence, here we go. Okay. So they were like, it's earlier than expected. So we see Layla Rashawn and Keke Palmer playing Condoleezza's mom and sister. And they were like, hi, Lawrence. And then her sister was like, oh, is that why he looks like that? I said, come on, Keke. So the baby's name is Elijah Mustafa. That is a ugly ass. I mean, the names separately. The names separately are really cute. Elijah is a really cute name. Mustafa, Mufasa, whoever, whatever you want to name him. I think it means strong. I think Mustafa means strong. I don't know. But he was looking like, okay, it is an ugly name. And what I did notice throughout the episode, which kind of spoke to their misalignment, is that what you call it? Disalignment? Is that from that point on, because Lawrence didn't like the baby's name, he was calling the baby Ja, and they were calling the baby Eli. So that was to me an indication that they are just not on the same page at all. Y'all calling the baby 2 different names. He don't even know the first name. He don't even know the first name good enough, and now y'all calling him 2 different names. There's something aggravating about Lawrence in this scene. I think his ambitiousness was a little aggravating. Like I felt like I knew what he was trying to do, but because he was doing it without really considering and having a conversation with the child's mother, I think that is what's created the conflict. It was almost as though he was acting like him and her were like in a good space. Like he was acting like, this is normal. I'm in a good space with you. We communicate. They don't communicate. He wants to do all of these things, but we'll see how that goes. Okay. We're going to keep going. So back at his house, Oh no, he's staying the night with Chad. And so he's at the house. So he holds the baby and stuff like that. And okay, when he gets back to Chad's house, he was like, they had the nerve to act like me giving the baby my last name was doing me a favor because he didn't get to name the baby. This is what I say, and this comes from having failed and then learned, right? Name your children what you want to name them, especially if there is no relationship with the father, a deep relationship with the father. Do not give the baby, if you are an unmarried woman, and there's nothing wrong with being unmarried, okay? There's no shame in that, okay? But if you are unmarried and you have a child with a man, if his last name does not have any equity, then please, and you don't see any potential growth in the stock, please do not give your baby a failing stock's last name. If there's no equity, there's no last name. A person with no equity literally doesn't deserve children. They don't deserve a legacy. So if you happen to get pregnant by a person who doesn't deserve a legacy, then you make sure that you give your baby your last name. There's no ifs, ands, questions, or buts about it. If you are in conflict and you don't understand why, it's because you are the primary caregiver and paternity can be determined by DNA. Okay, if it needs to get to that. My whole thing is you don't have to be secretive. The baby's not gonna know who their father is. None of that bullshit. I'm not talking about none of that. And based on I'm not going to get into that. So he talks about the circumcision. And what's his name says, are you going to be there when they cut his little tagwagger? He was like, he said something about his cousin. It was I do not like that character, Chad. Character Chad is someone who is probably a moderator on Kevin Samuels' channel. Like that's exactly what Chad gives me. Do not like that dude at all. Little man's fresh out the poom poom. He was like, they already trying to make me feel like I'm a deadbeat dad. She ain't leaving me out of nothing else. I'm going to every doctor's appointment. I was like, oh yes, look at Lawrence's ambition. Beautiful. Without having any conversations with the mother. Okay, you're just gonna come in and I don't even know what the hell is going on in your life, but you just want to come in and do stuff. Okay. So at the doctor's appointment, they're both there. They talk about the baby losing weight. And so she is kind of nervous, right? Remember, this is both of their first child, right? And she said something about, I'm doing everything I can with breastfeeding. I have a lactation coach. And then Lawrence is like, is there anything that we could do different? And he was like, oh, you guys are new parents. Oh, this and that, right? So as they're walking out of the doctor's office, he suggests that she makes changes to the doctor's appointment so that he can be there, right? So that he can be there. And that was the first pebble that he tripped over, right? You want her to change appointments so that you can be there. Okay. Then he mentions a baptism and she says, oh, there's a nice church that we go to. We're going to have it there. He was like, you weren't going to tell me about it. She was like, well, my sister was going to send you the invite information. He was like, is this how it's going to be? Is this how it's going to be? You know what? I just want to come down. I'm about to come down every week. And she was looking like, oh, you will come down every week? Okay. She was like, okay, baby, and we'll figure it out. She said, okay, we'll figure it out. She already knew. She already knows what it is. But it's so funny because you feel obligated to give someone you know cannot fulfill the commitment that they have. And you're just like, okay, sure. And by the time he was done talking to the baby, she was already in the car. If you don't know what it is, if you're not getting the clues, if you're not seeing the flags, Lawrence, she's not, for me, she was not looking for him to participate. I don't think she had an expectation, but I think she was trying, right? I think she was trying to work with him, but it's just like, girl, no. So we get back to Lawrence's house. He's putting a crib together. He flies in for the baptism party. They take a picture with the photographer, a family photo, and they're like looking at each other because mom and dad. And then, of course, you have the pastor there talking about the black family. And then Lawrence's uncle comes up there talking about, I love to see black fathers involved in the kids' lives. And he gives them $5. He gives them $5. And then Lawrence's parents were there, and that's the man that I think, what's his name, Henry, is his name Harry Lennox? I think he should play, I've always thought he should play Barack Obama in any movie ever casted, anybody ever casted to play Barack Obama. He definitely gave me young Barack Obama. Remember him, he was a dad in Love and Basketball. Harry Lennox, that's his name. Let me tell you how I was triggered by Lawrence's mom saying she was going to take the baby and get him dipped. You ain't going to do shit. You ain't going to dip shit. You going to end up getting dipped. Don't fucking touch my kid. Bitch, I was so triggered when that lady said that. I always had a fear of that. It's so funny. I always had that fear, like when I would let my mom, like when the boys be alone with my mom, I was always afraid that she was going to take them to church and get them baptized, because she's like super beat you over the head, Christian, white Jesus, can't really tell you anything about scripture and doctrine, but I just follow the Lord. And so it was just like I would be afraid to leave them with her, because that's like some shit she would do. I was always like, I would ask them like, did she take you anywhere? Because that lady is crazy. I was so triggered by that moment. So in the house, he says something about, he walks up and it's Condoleezza, her mom, and her sister, and he says something about being hungry, and then Keke Palmer's character goes, yes, I'm sure you're so tired. She was giving him the blues. So then he goes, I want to spend time with Ja, and he could, for the holidays, and he could stay with me for a week. And she was like, a week? That's like a year. And he was like, no, it's like a week. No, it's like a year. First of all, I think we have to remember that she's a new mom, right? She's a new mom too. And I think she has literally, like, I literally think she wasn't planning on, I don't want to say including him, but I feel like he wasn't going to participate. So I don't think she was including him, because it's like, you're not going to be here. So, okay, whatever. So at home, he sends a text to her, and he says that he's not going to be able to come, right? He's sitting in his house. He, was supposed to fly down. He tells her he's not going to be able to come. And then her and her sister, they actually have plans. And she goes, Ashy Larry strikes again, bitch. When I tell you I slid off the couch. Because yes, Ashy, Dusty, Larry. And it's so funny because it's like he is really trying. But the fact that you are really, it seems like you're acting like there's no tension between you and the mother. And you're just acting normal, as if you have this real strong bond still with the mom, and you don't. And it's like, you literally are a stranger. Like, it's crazy to say, but it's literally like that. You're like a stranger. You live in a different place. I don't know what's going on. Did you get vaccinated? Like, what's going on? Why you don't have a mask on? What's happening around the baby? I don't know where you've been. But I feel like he was really trying, like, let's keep talking about it. So, her sister goes, he can't pop up and split, and he's basically like an uncle. And I was like, yeah, that's what it feels like. He's like her brother coming down, for the major events. I'm going to go to the doctor's appointment. But there's there's not a real commitment there. It's an uncle, right? You know what I'm saying? So I felt like that's what she was saying. She was like, well, you go ahead and go, and I'll watch the baby for you. So then Simone, Tiffany and her husband, their baby's birthday party is coming up. So she sends him a text and asks and tells him, I think we should go to the party together. And he agrees. At the party, we find out that Kelly has stopped drinking. She had on a tux. The baby had on a tux. It was so cute. And cousin Tyrell was Pepper Pig. I said, of course he is over there on the phone, over there in the vape pen. Baby, it was a mess. So Kelly and Lawrence see each other, and then she was like, ooh, look at Lawrence and look at Kelly and look at this baby looking like both of y'all. Like, oh, this is for real. And she walks off. I don't know where Condola went. She walks off somewhere, and Lawrence is basically trying to ask, how is Issa? He said, how's everybody? She said, honey, everyone I associate with is thriving, abundance, limitless. I said, yes, bitch. She was like, oh, okay, yes. What's that? So she gives a toast to the baby, an angel among demons. She said she don't like kids because they're little demons. I said, I know what it is. We love the kids, but we can't play with the kids. So the baby starts crying, and Lauren says, I'll get him, right? And she's like, okay. So he comes back, and the baby has all this stuff on his face. And she was like, what's going on? And he was like, oh, it was like some stuff on the table. She was like, oh, we weren't supposed to be introducing solids. We don't know what's in that. He could have an allergic reaction. He was like, no, the doctor said that we could start giving solids after 4 months. And she was like, oh, I decided to hold off on that. So you could see there's no communication. And then so he goes, stop being so dramatic. And she wants to get the baby, right? She's trying to get the baby from him. And then she was like, give me my baby. That's what she said. Did y'all notice that? She was like, give me my baby. And then she goes, give me the baby. And they like kind of like were like tugging at each other, like about to, like it was conflict. So then Tiffany's husband comes over and he goes, oh, Lawrence, can you help me with some boxes? So they walk to the back. And he was like, what's up with the boxes? He was like, man, ain't no boxes. What the fuck? Like, what are you doing? They trying to make it seem like I'm a deadbeat dad. He was like, but it's all too negative. It's like real negative. Like, that's what I felt. It wasn't like Lawrence was being negative. It was just like Lawrence, it was this like, I don't know how to describe it. I don't know if that was his intentional, acting technique, was to feel like aggravating. Like it felt like he was like poking, like, but not really poking, but just like trying to fit in. And it was just like very aggressively trying to move his way into the baby's space, right? And into their lives. And it was like, you're trying to do these things, but you're not communicating. So it came off negative, but like for real, like as the actor was portraying, he wasn't being negative. It was just the way that he was. I don't know if y'all understand what I'm saying. And he was like, and the baby can feel that energy. And he was like, I'm doing everything I can. It's a lot of niggas out here, they ain't taking care of their babies. And he's like, but you don't need to add. He was like, that's fine and well and good and great, but you don't add stress to a situation. Don't do that. Like, and that was like really the best advice. It's like, don't be a stressor in the situation. If you, the point of, and the beauty of having two people to take care of is supposed to be the convenience, right? And it's supposed to be the support, right? And the reinforcement. That's where the purpose and the value of having two people there. if one person, doesn't matter who it is, if one person is adding stress to the situation, it's trash. It's trash. So anyway, they show a split screen of their lives, and you could see that they're living different lives. Um, Lawrence is having fun at the job. She's sitting on the toilet, falling asleep. So he sends her a text and asks her, are they still doing the overnight thing? He wants Ja once again. It's just that, like, stuff like that. It's like, it's annoying. He's being annoying. He's not doing it on purpose. He's not doing it intentionally, but it's just annoying because he's not communicating. It's almost like, it's like you're too familiar and you're not that. I know you're the dad, but you're too familiar. Like, it's just too much. That's how I felt. Y'all let me know what you think. So he flies down. He gets to her house. He comes in and the baby's crying. What's wrong, Ja? Daddy, what did he say? You crying because daddy's late? So she's looking like nervous, right? And she's like, oh, this is, his fussy hour. I just need to calm him down. And so she's like asking him, like, did he get the right car seat and stuff like that? And he's reassuring her that he has the right car seat. And so he has the baby, right? And then she goes, let me just hold the baby because, the baby's fussing, right? She was like, let me just hold him so I can calm him down. I know how to calm him down. He snatches the baby and says, I've only had him for 2 seconds. That's what it is. It's like, do you know how to calm him down? I know you, but this is not a time right now to learn, right? So it's like there's no collaboration, like no collaboration at all. None. And you feeling like you don't want to be something because of all these niggas out here, but you're not making her life easier, and you're trying to get her to make accommodations for you. So she was like, I don't think he should go. I don't think the baby should go. And he was like, why? What's wrong? He was like, stop acting like I'm a stranger. It's really like he's a stranger. And she was like, I don't trust you. And he was like, what the fuck? Stop acting like that. And she was like, and let me tell you how sobering it is when you realize that you don't trust the person that you had a baby with. Like, that is like the scariest thing that you can realize, is that you don't trust the person that you had a baby with. It's just like the emoji head blown up. Like, literally think about it. You don't trust the person that you created life with. Baby, I'm telling you, it's just like, yikes. I know what that feels like, okay? And that's all I'm going to say about that. I know exactly what it feels like. She says, you're not around. You're like, basically it's inconsistent. You're not around enough. You don't ask about swimming. You don't ask about what kind of food he's eating. You are not here when I need to go to urgent care. And he was like, why didn't you call me and tell me? And she's like, what are you going to do? Fly down on a Tuesday to take somebody to urgent care? Girl, shut up. Like, it's these unrealistic, gestures that are happening. I'm going to come down every weekend. That's not realistic. It's not. It sounds good. It sounds great, but it's not. It's just not feasible. It's hard for him. He says. And she was like, you want to be a part-time good dad. You want to come down here when everything's all fixed and be a part-time good dad. He says it's hard for him. And she says, he says, you don't talk to me. And then they get into like, fussing. And then he says, you made a decision without me. And now you're trying to make me feel bad and trying to kind of like use it against me to make me feel bad or make it seem like I'm not a good father or whatever. I don't think that was her intention. I really think that that's how he felt. I felt like he felt all of his inconveniences would make him look the way he didn't want to look. And it's easy to just blame it on her, right? I don't think that she was going to include him from the beginning. He was like, I found out that I had a baby through a text message. Well, that's the relationship. Why aren't you telling me about the baptism? Why didn't you include me on the name? It didn't seem like you were going to be included. You moved away and we just was making decisions. You know what I'm saying? And then he says, before you blew my life up. And he says, and she says something about, I'm going to do what I need to do to get my son. She said, do what? She said, get the fuck out my house. I said, I know that's right. Nigga, shut up. You ain't going to do shit. Go, get out. you ain't going to do a motherfucking thing. It sounds good and it sounds cute and it looks good and it makes you feel good. But no, get the fuck out my house. And he gets on the airplane and he has a lot of airplane turbulence. And I guess it makes him think about his life. Maybe his life flashed before his eyes. But he calls her when he gets to his apartment and he apologizes and he says, this isn't working. She said, no, it's not. And he says, what do? Nigga, we gonna do what we gonna do. You need to figure out what the fuck you gonna do. Because life is going to continue with or without you. And I think that's the problem that Lawrence was having. It was like things are happening and it's happening without you. You're not being, told what's happening. I feel like based on where they were, he's lucky that she sent him a text so that we can have an episode. Right? Because he just wasn't communicating with her. She wasn't communicating with him because I really believe she didn't plan on including him like that. But he was trying. He just was coming in like a porcupine, prickling up the place. And I feel like he just was too ambitious, made promises he knew he couldn't keep, but that made him feel, it made him feel good, I guess. When he was in his living room putting that crib together, I was like, child, when are you gonna bring this baby to San Francisco? Are you crazy? That lady is not gonna let you take your baby, yes, your baby too. And yes, he wants to do well. And then it begs the question. This is the question that I was like thinking about last night when I was rewatching it. If the man tells you, I don't want a baby, and you have the baby, do you expect him to be involved? Right? Because when he says, what do we do? Well, you communicate and you figure out what works for you, and what you are unable to do, you pay monetarily, right? You supplement that with money, right? Okay. That's how that works. You do what you can, you visit when you can, and the rest of the time you supplement, right? Because there's other things, as we can see, there's other things that happen outside of baptisms and doctor's appointments, right? There's other things. And then also, I think it just wasn't, it's like he was literally, that's what I was like, he was like, why are you treating, I'm not a stranger. You are. You really are. We don't know you. We're not familiar with you. We don't know what's going on. And you do come in for the good times. And you're not here for the other stuff, urgent care and swimming, and you feeding the baby food like Marceau over there in real life, about to give his baby peanut butter, about to kill his damn child. Don't know his own child. What he's allergic to. Shit, and he's in the house. That's a 2-parent household. Hello? You would expect a nigga not in the home not to know. You would expect him not to know. Anyways, y'all, I thought it was a good episode. I just thought that, Lawrence, he tried, but I think he was just a little bit too ambitious. And I think he was, when it was really indicative of where he was coming from when he asked her to change the appointments to accommodate him. I was like, oh no, that's not how any of this works. You need to get in where you fit in, and nobody planned on including you. So literally get in where you fit in and don't add stress to our lives. Because if you add stress, I mean, things can change like that. Trust and believe. But I'm really serious about the last name thing and the first name. Give them the name that you want. Give them your last name. I'm really serious about that. Anyways, y'all, take care of each other. Protect your energy. Let's get down in the comments. Peace.